Something was weird was going on. I'll wait for you guys to get on. I'll wait. All right, let's go. Sorry about that. It was something weird that was going on. I don't know why it got so choppy, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it happen. So let me know if it's choppy right now. Is it okay? Let me know in the comment section so we can get the show going. That means I got to move a little faster, but because I wasn't trying to be on here this long. Hola, hey Miss Lynn, is it still choppy or is it okay now? It should be okay now. I really. All right, thank you, Lawrence. How are you? All right, let's keep going. Now, Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox says she is open to dating 50 Cent again. 50 Cent. She's open to dating 50 Cent again. I looked at this and I said, wait. And the first thing that came to my mind was. That's funny. Ma'am, 50 Cent is 40, I think he's 46 or 47. Vivica Fox is 58. Now, for what you know about 50 Cent, first of all, he has a woman. She's very beautiful, but she's 25. But even if he wasn't with her, do you really think a 50 Cent would be with a 58-year-old woman and he's 47? Do you really think what we know about 50 Cent? Do you really think that he would be with a woman like this? That's why
God.
you just can't make it up. I'm sorry, Vivica, but to be fair, she expressed why they didn't work out. And it's unfortunate that it didn't work out for them based off of what she said. She said one of the reasons why they didn't work out, and this video, the interview is on VLive, I think. It's on YouTube. But she said one of the reasons why they didn't work out is because they got too public too soon. So everybody was in their business. Now, that much I can agree with. The more people that are in your business, it does get kind of complicated. And so I looked at that. She's only been expressing it for the last 13 years. That part of it, that part of it, bro, it's just that she's been expressing this. Bro, he's not coming back. He's moved on. And I wish I had a picture of his girl, but I don't. But geez, it's pretty bad. He's not coming back to you because unfortunately for you, if he breaks up with her, he's going to go with somebody that looks remotely close to that. He's not going to go with a 60-year-old woman. I just can't see 50 Cent at his age going for 50. They usually go younger. They usually do. Michael Jordan did. Most of these dudes, they go younger because, that's just the nature of it. This show is not about that, but I thought this was crazy because I had been seeing you guys post this and I said, no, ma'am, no, that's absolutely no, no way he's not going to be with you. Sorry, Vivica. Sorry, but not sorry. Now, this showed up. Now, a friend of mine sent me this, and I want to take this short moment to get serious with you for a second. Now, check this out.
Did you know that Black Lives Matter was an organization that was founded by a bunch of fat black lesbians who hate God, who hate the family, order of the family, who hate the unborn child, and they admitted, at least one of them, that they're a Marxist group and they've been trained to do what they're doing. Did you know it was founded by some fat black lesbians?
Wow. So first of all,
did you know that?
What we're not going to do is insult folks, right? Well,
they claim to be lesbians and they're fat and they're black. Well, I didn't do it.
So.
But did you know they were founded by them?
I personally know them, right? So we're going to stop that part.
And you knew that before they joined. What made you join?
Why does his shirt say "Amazing TAR, baby"? That's very disturbing. I need to get context on that. I don't want to jump the gun, but me seeing that, I don't like that. And this dude, he kind of goes somewhere that I'm not liking, but sometimes in his statements. But let's continue.
Knowing that, because normally men don't follow women like that. What made you do it?
Okay, so now you heard what he had to say. The reason why I don't really like this, the stuff that he does, is because when you go to the comment section, I keep telling you, when you go to videos, go to the comment section. You're going to find the gold. I don't like it because in these videos, you make these idiots feel emboldened to leave the most despicable things in the comment section. The comment section is very, very lit on this post that my friend sent me. And some of the stuff that I was reading was like, how, as a black man, I can't see myself locked in step with these people. The stuff that they were saying was absolutely despicable. I mean, and I'm not talking about us, but the black men that were in there, they were rooting it on, talking about Black Lives Matter, which I will get to in a minute. Now, I don't like that. So we need to be very careful. My mom used to always tell me, and my dad too, when you have an argument with family members, you don't do it in public. You do it behind 4 walls or within the privacy of your home, as to not bring people into your family business. We tend to do this. What up, Fred? We tend to do this too much. We like to have our arguments in front of people, and that can be catastrophic. We need to stop doing that. And so why? Because you bring out these T supporters that have thinking they're okay with doing this now. Do you not realize that ever since that squarehead, orange spray tan criminal got in office, race in this country has exploded? In fact, hating crimes has increased almost by 20%. So to say that there's no correlation there is being disingenuous. Whether you support him or not, support his policies, maybe. But when you go lock and step with this guy, no way. So you want to know why I joined Black Lives Matter when I was here? I was in the Chicago chapter. I was unaware I knew what they stood for. I went to the website, I read that stuff. I didn't get Marxists from that. I didn't get socialists from that. They throwing these things out like if you feel that, oh, these people are getting rich off of you, oh, now you're a socialist. No. I don't believe that. That's just me. I don't believe that. I don't believe we should be putting titles on people because they have a difference of opinion. Just because I have a difference of opinion on economic structure of this country does not necessarily mean that I'm a Marxist or I'm a socialist. Can we keep it real for a second? I just have a different opinion. And I was part of Black Lives Matter Chicago. So you want to know why I like Black Lives Matter Chicago when I was part? Well, one of the reasons why, they always had things going on within the community, okay? This is what they're working on now. Last I checked, does this seem like socialist to you? Look at these things. The People Unity Platform, which is working with organizations to create a city budget that works for black people. Black Freedom Front, which is a new national organization working to build Black-led movement for liberation. Treatment, not trauma, working to reopen clinics and create a non-police mental health crisis line. These are things that they're working on. This is Chicago. Whips and Dreams, which is working hard to end parking tickets and boots. Mutual Aid, providing supplies to folks in Woodline. You see what I'm saying? That will hold police accountable. Of course, that's what Black Lives Matter is for, right? So you see some of the things that they do, some of the things you may not agree with. And I agree with you, and we can argue, we can debate. But look at the things that they're doing. None of this appears to be Marxist. None of this thing appears to be anything that's negative. I like the fact that they did stuff for the community. I went to some of the benefits that they had. I went to some of the functions. I actually posted pictures on my page. You have to scroll down, but I flew my drone, took pictures. Everybody was out there celebrating. It was Black love. It was Black unity. It was positive atmosphere. Everybody was enjoying the music. Everybody was enjoying the food. It was a great experience. Right? And then I went to the functions. I went to the job fairs. I went to the places. I went to the what was that? The classes, the seminars where they had lawyers come in and talk to us, where they had police officers come in and talk to us. I was there at these things. I don't remember seeing people like this there. Now, we can talk about the national. It was some corruption, but it's corruption everywhere. It's corruption in your local churches. I didn't know of the corruption. My reason for not being in Black Lives Matter and not doing it as much has nothing to do with them. It has something else that happened here that I don't need to go into, but it had nothing to do with this. I don't care if it's fat Black lesbians and all of that. What does that have to do with the fact that it's police brutality and social injustice in this country? I don't really think that has anything to do with it. You cannot like Black Lives Matter, and I won't argue with you. If it's corruption, you can show me. I won't argue. But you cannot deny that Chicago Black Lives Matter has done some good for the city. They did a food giveaway. I mean, they do food giveaways. They do things for the community. So we can't say, oh, all Black Lives Matter is this way. I just refuse to believe that. It's just like me saying, just like you don't want them saying all Black people are horrible, we cannot throw every section of everybody in the same basket, which is what he's trying to do. That's my thing that I disagree on. Did they enrich themselves? Yes. But we just had a president that did that, and people are still out supporting him. People are still out supporting this dude right here, who seems to always find trouble. Now, do I think this guy is going to jail? I don't think so. I used to think he was going to jail. I think he's going to be found guilty. I just don't think he's going to jail. I don't think they're going to throw him in jail. And people are saying, oh, it's going to send a bad message. Why? To throw crooks in jail? They were willing to do that for Hillary. They would have been doing that to Obama. Nixon avoided jail because he resigned and got pardoned. He was going to go to jail. So do you guys think he's going to go to jail? But that Black Lives Matter thing just messed me up. I didn't like that. I didn't like that he did that to that man. And here's the thing. You can't go to those kinds of telecasts and podcasts. You can't go there with an unloaded gun. You just cannot do it. But speaking of unloaded gun, somebody's been really, really mad. This chick named Mariah Mills. She's been dating this basketball player named Zion Williamson. I don't always agree with Larry Reed on everything he says, but he says one thing that I definitely agree with is, oh, Denver did it, huh? Keep your hoes happy. Keep your hoes happy. That's what he always says, because this right here is bad. She said, I let you spit in my mouth last week when we, woo, and you could have told me, it's with the apostrophe V email, told me you had another blank pregnant. How's that going to work moving us both to New York, you think? Then she continued to go on. She had other stuff she had to say. I mean, look, she was showing all the gazumbas here. Good Lord, ma'am. We can see all of that. You can't make this up. Nope, we not doing it. Nope. But then she continues on. I guess I'm gonna be a mommy. You not effing me up, Zion Williamson, baby plans. I mean, she continued to go on and on. Look, I can send these posts to you. I can send inbox to you if you want. But look at this. She just went on and on for a whole week. She just keep going on and on. She's still going. If you go to her Twitter page, she's still going at him. She's still going at him. You can't make this up. She's still going. And she was posting, and posting. And then she started posting his inboxes. Fellas, we got to start doing better choosing women, man. I mean, you can't be rich and famous and everything else and do what Zion's doing. The NBA does have classes and seminars where they actually talk about this stuff. They actually talk about NBA players not doing what's happening here, being diligent with your dingling and your money. He was actually paying her a whole lot of money. She's talking about Zion Williamson, the basketball player. And he messed this girl up. He got and there's 2 other ones. Ladies, now, what does it do to put this man on blast like this? Because really, it just makes it didn't even make the news. It just made Facebook. It just went on Facebook. It made him famous on Facebook. And some of the sportscasters were talking about it. But it didn't really do much. But I want to ask the question. When you put personal messages and text messages and his receipts that showed he paid you money and everything else like that, what does that accomplish? She needs friends. Well, she's a porn star. I'm sure she got a lot of friends. She got a lot of friends. But she needs help. And speaking of help,
you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Welcome to another episode of You Can't Make This Shift Up. Because when I tell you nothing can prepare you for what I'm about to show you, please believe.
A man got his wife's coochie tattooed on his arm. But hey, y'all, don't judge a book by its cover. It's some good walls in there. The foundation is bad, but it's some good walls inside of that. So good that he decided to get it tatted on his arm for life.
Let me ask you fellas, would you ever get your girlfriend's patoot tattooed on you? And that thing do look like it's been through the storm and rain. It didn't make it. Roast beef, french fries, and tomato sauce. It didn't make it. He got her twat tatted on his arm. I don't know, but it's a little alarming. But he got a roast beef tattoo on his arm. He's a doofus McDoofus. I wouldn't do it. That doesn't, and then you got the piercing. If it wasn't for the piercing, I wouldn't even know that it was a vajayjay. That right there would scare the living daylights out of me. Now, I know it looked like it's been tossed, set, and driven on this restless sea of time. I mean, it's been through the storm and rain. That thing looked like people was like, they were just beating that, and then you went and got it tattooed on you. Man, I just can't believe that. If I was a tattoo artist, I'd be like, bro, you sure? I mean, at least make it be a cute one. This is what you want on your arm? In case you ain't noticed, that's what we gonna be on today. Even Preachers Going Wild is about to be wild today. We not doing this, Keisha. We not doing this. You talking about it you say it look like COVID-19. You can't make this shift up. I would never do that. That is absolutely something I would never, ever do. That is absolutely something I would never do. Maybe her face. She's beautiful. So maybe her face. I won't talk about nothing else but her face. She's beautiful. But never that. How do I look, though? If I'm up there playing bass, Bishop gonna look at me and be like, what's that on your arm? He already going viral for some of the stuff he says. When he says suck on the breast, you think he ain't gonna pass it? What, Derek? What's that? What's that you got on your arm? Bishop Hudson, I don't know. You can't play up here like that. And I don't blame him. But we're going to be talking about some wild stuff today. First, the oldie but goodie. I think I posted this before, but it sets the stage for what we're going to be talking about in a minute.
And then now what we do is we label people at the church. Oh, he's a homosexual, and she's a lesbian, he's a drunkard, and she's a prostitute. But what are you? We all in the same boat and need some help because it came from somewhere. Oh, y'all, we were wrapped in sin and shaping it into iniquity. Y'all ain't got, we all came out of our mother's coochie needing deliverance. Ain't nobody talking to me in this church. Post it as a clip, put it on Facebook, send it around the church, dust it off, and be all right with it because this is real talk season because we need deliverance in the church.
I don't know if I would have said coochie. And how ironic I said Bishop Hudson, and then we immediately go to somebody that's in Pilgrim. You can't make this up. But yeah, I don't know if I would have said coochie. That was a little bit too much. That's just me saying. I wouldn't have done it. There's just a little bit too much. Did I miss? I'm done mentoring segment. I didn't do it. I'm probably going to end with that on my way out. I'm going to end with that, Rodney. I didn't forget. It's just that I'm not doing it right now. I'm going to get to it. It's not that long. But I didn't forget. Here we go. Here's another one. Put your kids to bed. I think I'm going to give you a chance. If you got kids in your room, we finna get down and dirty, okay? So I hope you guys put your kids to bed. This is grown talk right now. It's about to happen. You ready?
Your pussy! Hey, bring the camera, son. Bring the camera. All the young girls who want to make life with pussy, your pussy will perish with you in hell. May your pussy perish with you. May your smooth pussy, cleaner pussy, and tight pussy perish.
Had I been in that church, I promise you, I would have lost my mind. I would have definitely lost my mind. May your prepare for you in hell. Your I'd be like, yeah. Roast beef 1, 2. Don't leave that one out with the piercing at the top. That one definitely need to perish. That needs to go away. But dude, what made him so mad that he went here and said, yo, woo, yo, I'm like, oh, bro, why? But when we not yelling at the puss, when we're not yelling at the puss, when we're not talking and screaming about the different forms of puss that needs to go and perish in the lake of fire or Gehenna or Tartarus or wherever you want it to go, the different forms of hell that you may explain reading books or old past literature, where are we going with this? Because when we're not spewing about puss, we're spraying it with bottles.
Fire! Come out from the private! Come out from the private! Come out from the private! Come out! Out! From the private! Go!
You absolutely cannot make this shift up. You just cannot make it up. You can't make it up. Now, I just got one question before we move. Was that air freshener in there? Just for me. Was it air freshener in there? I need to know. Because that right there, he was spraying it, y'all. He was really up close to spraying it. And when you ain't spraying the puss, when you ain't talking about puss perishing in hell, see me, I'm going to be honest. And I told Miss Lynn I was going to be good tonight, so I'm going to be good. But I got to say this. I'm a breast man. I love breasts. Like, really, I love them. That's my weakness. You know, the gazumbas is what I call them here. I love them. And I'm not the only one that does, because it seemed like somebody else loves them too.
You spirit of fear, you come out of her. You come out in the name of Jesus. Somebody scream.
I always wondered how we as musicians sit and play through stuff like this. I always wondered how we can do that, how we could just turn numb to some of the stuff that we see in church and we just continue to play. I mean, the professionals that we are, we're going to do it, but I'm saying in our brain, does it ever register, this is some bullshit? Does it ever register with any musician? If you're a musician, you're watching this, does it ever register? Do you ever sit down and watch stuff that happens at the altar and say,
This is bullshit.
do you ever do that? Because there's been a lot of times where I just wanted to get up and just walk away from some of this stuff because I knew it was not straight. So when I first saw this, the first thing I was thinking, like, what's going on? Oh, God. I laugh. Well, you better one than me, Jeremy, because I see this stuff happening all the time, and I'm like, I just can't. It's just too much for me. It's just absolutely too much for me. And a lot of these people, I sit here and I look at the ladies, and some of them be like, this is too much. Had that been my wife or my mother or my had to have some fisticuffs. It would have been one, definitely. Definitely. Gazumbas, man. I'm telling you. And a lot of men, some men like hips. I mean, of course, most men like curvy women, but some men don't care about breasts like that. They like hips, they like butt. Me, that's what I like. I like chest meat. That's what I like. I like chest meat. Now, we talked about something a couple of weeks ago, and it was saying that, Dietrich Hatton and his wife and how they go about doing their business. And I saw this video that could have made that show, but I actually saved it because we're talking about sex tonight. But when I saw this, I had some thoughts. Let me see what you guys think.
Just 10 quick points. Love the Lord with your whole heart. Love, respect, and appreciate your husband. Never be argumentative with him publicly. Have a little mouth and a deep throat.
Have a little mouth and a deep throat.
I ain't hearing, but I ain't wanting any.
Listen, have a little mouth, but a deep throat.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn now.
Have a deep throat. Ladies, do you have a deep throat? Oh, God. Let's continue.
Learn to swallow pride. Honor your husbands as the priest of your home. And you should be his greatest supporter.
I'm sure her husband is very happy. But do you think we actually talk? Now, I'm not sure where she was going with this. I really am not. But I want to ask this question. Do you think we do have good discussions about sex? Is sex taboo in church? I mean, we talk about not doing it. We talk about all this other stuff. We talk about, how you can have soul ties or everything. And even on this platform, I talk about how it can complicate things and makes things super complicated because people get attached and some men don't. But women, you most of the time will. So we talk about that. But do we really, really talk about it? Do we talk about it? Do we get down and dirty? Because I know one of the things in church, I saw this and people liked it. It says, look, the clitoris is the devil's doorbell. If you ring it, he will answer. These are the things that this goes along to what we've been taught. That sex is just disgusting unless you were married. We've been taught that sex is bad unless you are married. But I'm going to say this, and hopefully you guys will stick with me on this. I think after tonight, I hope this thing ain't choppy. Please tell me it's not choppy. This thing is getting on my nerves. I'm almost to the point where ask them, do they ring it? Oh, God. You can't make this up. I don't know why this thing is acting like this tonight. The church has a lot of scare tactics. It does. It does. I'm going to turn me off for a second because I don't like the fact that this is choppy. Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Can you hear me now? Check, 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 check. I don't know what's going on with my stuff tonight. It's just not working for me. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Restream has been I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Restream has been very, very bad for me as of late. I might need to find another application because this is the second week in a row that it's done this to me. Like it doesn't want to work well with my software, and it's very irritating because I do have a show to do. I have a show to do, and I'm going to do this show. And the devil comes in. Yeah, right. So we're going to do this. I just want you guys to hear me because you really don't need to see me to do this thing. We're going to do this thing the right way. Start talking about sex and things happen. I get it. So here we go. The church is sexually frustrated. Now, let's talk about this thing, the church being sexually frustrated. At first, I didn't necessarily agree with her with this statement that the church is sexually frustrated. But then when I started having conversations with it's that dope. Yeah, right. Right. We ain't finna talk about clit just right now. But I found out that there's a lot of married people out here, a lot of couples out here that are sexually frustrated, particularly women. And I wanted to know why. I wanted to know why it's a lot of people that are sexually frustrated in the church. Married couple. I am not promoting sex before marriage. That's not what I'm doing here. So if you think that's what I'm doing, no. We're talking about sex, but we're talking about within the sanctity of marriage. Not necessarily what you do. What you do in your business is your business. It's your business. But that's why I'm going, because I know some of you like to start some stuff. You like to start some stuff. So I've been reading this book. It's called The Preacher's Passion, right? I finished this book in like less than a week. It's 300 and some pages, but I finished this book and I was like, wow, reading some of the stuff in this book was tore me up. It tore me up. Because it's talking about issues in church and how even first ladies are sexually frustrated with their husbands. And it's amazing because intimacy, you would think that they're throwing down. But this book discovers and opens up a page that I didn't think I would ever see. Now, I knew it was about to be wild, but I didn't think it was going to get this wild. I'm going to post a couple of passages for you. The first, let me set the scene. The first, when he tries to have sex with his wife, right? Let's go. He says in the he pulled Carla toward him and held her close. You had me scared for a moment, he said, nuzzling her neck and cheek. I thought it was something about us that was bothering you. Like maybe you'd find some young stud and we're kicking me to the curb or something. Carla's body tense at this near truth, because she was doing something, by the way. She tried to relax, but all she wanted was for Stanley to let her go so she could roll over and think about, another man, Levon, until she fell asleep, because that's who was blowing her back out, by the way. That's if she could sleep. She was so wound up from hearing Levon's sexy voice on the phone, she was considering a late night rendezvous with Denzel, which is her, masturbation thing. It's her dildo, 9.5 inches in girth, which remained in this red velvet sheath the entire time Levon had been in L.A. She gave an air kiss to Stanley and then attempted to roll over on her side. Stanley didn't let her go. Instead, he raised up and partially straddled her, moving toward her lips for a kiss. She'd never been less turned on, but tried to summon up the desire based on true love that she had for her husband. Now, man, she thinking about another dude. She closed her eyes and opened her mouth for Stanley's average French kiss. All the while, his tongue made small circles and about, look, y'all be wanting that. Blah, blah. Carla remembered Levon and how he plundered her with his tongue, especially in her nether lips. She moaned with memory. She was thinking about another man while she was with her husband. But Stanley moaned too, rolling over, pulling down his shorts. He got on top of her, raised her nightgown, shifted her legs for better access. He kissed her briefly, before needling her breast. That's not dope, bro. Stanley, she thought dispassionately, as he almost tore her breast off. I think some of you ladies like it rough, but she didn't. But if it were, his bread would be set and ready to rise. Carla giggled at the thought. Stanley stopped. Like, what's funny? She said nothing. And then he got up and looked at her. Now, Stanley is her husband. Stanley is the bishop. Stanley is the man that she married. He has been a good husband to her up to that point. The only thing they lacked was a good sex life. She felt his sex was average, right? It continues. That's what I'm asking. What's going on with you? It's just like today you've been preoccupied. You've counseled women for years, and I've never seen it affect you like this. Who is this woman? Stanley is we two are one. There's nothing that can't be shared between us. I'm sorry if I've been distant, Carla said in response. I promise I'll do better to further appease him. She added, maybe it's time for us to have a date. It's been a while since we've done that. Go to San Diego, Vegas or something, just the two of us. Would you like that? He said, I like this. He was trying to get some. He said in response, rubbing the top of her mound with his hand. Carla put her hand up on top of his. I'm tired, Stanley. Maybe tomorrow, okay? Stanley fell back on the side of his bed. Carla turned to her side, back to his. They were each thinking the same thing. In that 10 years, the time that they've been married, this is the first time that she had turned him down for sex. Now, this is a first lady and a first man, first husband or whatever. And he got turned down for sex. And I'm looking at this and I'm reading this book and I'm like, whoa. You married and you've been getting your back blown out by this other dude, but it really started because she was sexually frustrated with her husband. She was sexually frustrated. And I didn't know. And to this day, women, you can help me out here. She said she was sexually frustrated. What does that even mean for you? We're going to get down and dirty in a minute. But yeah. Now, she did actually try to talk to him. And they had a conversation. It started this way, right? Rubbing his eyes wearily, leaned forward, his fingers steepled. I'm listening. She leaned forward. Well, Stanley, I love you very much. The love of life, the life and family we've created. But for a very long time now, a big part of me has been absent from this life. Every now and then, I've tried to tell you about her, but I've never been successful. He leaned back in the chair and kept listening. Baby, I'm talking about true and complete intimacy. It's part of myself, and I've never been able to totally express it with you. He sighed. Is this about sex again, Carla? Why does this keep being an issue for you? I thought we finally gotten to the point where we understood each other, and now here you go again. I don't understand you, Stanley, and you don't understand me. Stanley rose from the chair and headed to the bed. I understand you a nymphomaniac, he said with quite a bit of a chuckle. Now, come on, baby. I'm tired. Let's go to bed. Carla didn't move. His response she experienced for 10 years, discounting her feelings, making her feel her sexual needs, not taking her sexual needs seriously. Before, she's always excused him because he had characteristics that were so good in other areas that mattered. Loyal, good father, great minister, provider. She couldn't pretend anymore. It wasn't enough. She wanted to be deep down, y'all. She walked over to her side of the bed and didn't get in. This is serious, Stanley. I've asked you before and you've always refused. But I want us to seek counseling to find out why you have such a low, actually no interest in sex. It's not just physical aspect in itself, but the deeper level of intimacy between a man and a woman that's reached as a result of that aspect. Stanley yawned and pulled over his covers. He wasn't trying to hear it. Now this to the point that if we don't get help, I don't want to continue this marriage. And these words stopped him in his track. What did you say? So long story short, this didn't end very well for them. He didn't want to hear her. He didn't want to have anything to say. She said her piece. And he still feel like, oh no, I'm the man here. I'm get what I want. I'm going to get me. I'm going to get mine. He just wanted to have vaginal sex with her. Now let's go. Statistics say only 18% of women orgasm from vaginal sex alone. Only 18%. Some of you may be in that 18. If you are married to a man and he fails to make you reach that mountaintop over and over again, especially for 10 years, I can't imagine. Never been married. Hopefully some married people can watch this and help a brother out. But can you imagine now? Be honest with you, ain't no virgins on this thing. I guarantee you out of the 11 that's watching, none of y'all virgins. So can you imagine being with a man? Or if you're a woman, can you imagine being with a man? Or if you're a man, can you imagine being with a woman and you've never been sexually satisfied? My question is, how faithful do you think you could be to this person? So do you really blame her for going out and having sex with this other guy? You can ask me. You can answer that question. Do you really blame her for that? Because she was not satisfied. Her husband, the same, he would just nibble on that one breast and just go, and trust me, in this book, it was crazy. He was, and it was over. It was like 2 seconds. It was like, you can count it. 1, 2, 3, and it was over. That's what the book said. Can you imagine? Now, we know men have greater things that they value. They bring value. Like she said, he was a provider. He was a great person. He was a great father. He was a minister, everything else. He had all those aspects. But if you really, really think about it, what she needed from her husband was the sexual intimacy that I've found that a lot of women have lacked in their relationships and their marriages. This woman broke it down. I didn't like her masculinity in it, but check this out.
A lot of women have sex even when they don't want to have sex, but it's pleasurable for men. So I can't see it being any other way. I can't see it being other way because for y'all, it literally triggers the reward system in y'all's brain. Like y'all's brains fire up and it makes you want to do it more and more, right? That's not the way it happens with women. You know what I mean?
Do you believe every man is like that?
99% of them.
Wait. How many women do you feel don't enjoy sex? Like you make it seem like it's a task.
Well, it is. I mean, look at the divorce.
Stop. How many? Just when you watch this, ladies, later or whatever, if you're watching now, how many of you agree with her that you in your relationships or your marriage that you did not? I really want to marry people, but relationships you can do it. What up, Chris? You can answer. Were you really dissatisfied with sex in your relationship? You can say yes, or you can hit my inbox and say, yes, I was dissatisfied, to be honest. Let's go.
Rates. I mean, listen.
Well, no, divorce is normally for money.
No.
It's not. Why'd you get married if sex wasn't a part of?
No.
Like,
Trust. See, that's the problem. Men do not listen to women. Y'all don't. Women be talking and talking and talking, and all over the globe, you hear this like sex is a chore. Sex is a chore. You even had this dude. You remember when the spreadsheet came out? When he made that spreadsheet for every time his wife denied him sex, because he kept asking and asking.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
This is typical in marriages. I mean, that's typical. And women keep saying.
So next week, I'm going to be covering this story. The topic will be too scary for to marry, because this is crazy. If I got married and I had to keep a spreadsheet of the times I got turned down for married, let's go back to the very first topic. This is now. That's when that side chick will kick in. I'm going to be honest with you. You cannot deny your man sex that long, that many times. Yeah, you may not like it, and you may have a discussion with him. And maybe, fellas, we do need to listen, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And I see Chris left his comment. But come on now. If he got to keep a spreadsheet on you, something is not right. I ain't keeping a spreadsheet. I'm going to be honest with you.
And that because it's not as pleasurable for them as it is for y'all. Look.
Wait, so would you say is communication is the problem then?
No, it's not. No.
Because a woman will say this. A woman will say this. There's steps to get me to want to have sex. There's certain things you have to do to kind of. I'm an oven. You're a microwave. You have to preheat me, and then I'm ready. Men are microwave. They just turn on and let's go. It may not be the time you want to go, but again, there is a process for women to actually enjoy it.
Yeah, and men
don't have time to wait. Yeah,
see, men are selfish, and so y'all just want to get your penis wet and then go to sleep. Then you want her to make you a sandwich after not caring about heating up the microwave, right?
That sounds pretty good.
I know it sounds good. I know it sounds good. You a male, man.
That sounds pretty nice. That sounds pretty nice.
So here's the thing. Women keep saying this, but here's the thing. There is an inverse relationship between men and women. Men and women aren't compatible. Just because y'all genitalia fit, that don't make y'all compatible. Galileo said you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. Everybody know who Galileo is, right? Mark Twain said, it takes much to convince the average man of anything, and probably nothing will ever make him realize that he's the average woman's inferior. Y'all have something in y'all's brain that prevents y'all from listening. Y'all take commands. This is why the military handle y'all.
Y'all picking up that level of feminism in here, right? I'm sure Chris is. And I'm going to end her right here, by the way. She made some good points, but let me dissect what she said. And I've heard this. When I asked the women for this show, and it's kind of weird because I'm trying to ask women, they were like, why you ask me about sex? But a lot of them did feel like they don't enjoy it. It does become a chore. And a lot of men don't take the time out to, get their rocks off. A lot of men that they've dated don't even do foreplay. They don't lick, they don't suck, they don't touch, they don't kiss, they don't do any of that. They just time on top of me and do your business. But here's my problem. And ladies, a lot of men want to please you because that means a lot to us too. But we can't read your mind. We can't read your mind. And here's the crazy thing that I need to say. And this, I told you, put your kids to bed. Have you ever taken out time to explore your own body and knows what gets you off? You saying you want a man that knows what he's doing, but he can only know what you tell him. Everybody's different. Your body's not going to be the same as somebody else. And being as though none of us are out here virgins, so we still, yeah, also you in your control. But I mean, I'm saying we need to know what's going on with you. Do you understand? Do you explore? Have you explored your own body? Can you actually climax on your own? Do you know how to do that? Do you know what spots make you climax? Do you know? Because some women don't like their breasts nimble. Some women like to be touched on their neck. Some women like to be touched on their ears. Some women like you to be rough. Some women like you to be soft. You saw in this book that I was reading to you, he was rough with her breasts. Well, she didn't like it, but I'm sure somebody somewhere did. It was like, rip that mug off. Go, go, go. I mean, if you don't know, how can we please you if you don't know your own body? Men, we're different. First of all, a lot of us, we explored when we were younger. We explored when we were younger. But women, for some reason, have been taught, especially in church, unfortunately, that to explore, know your body, and make it pleasurable, your situation with your husband or intimacy with your husband, that's been something that they want you to just roll the dice and make it happen. I think. This is just my opinion. Because I wouldn't believe how many women never, and I ask you, do you know, can you make yourself get there? Be honest. Can you make yourself get there? And because if you can't, there's nothing, what we can do. We can try some things, but at the end of the day, we don't know what gets you off. We don't know what gets you off. So it's not that we're trying to be rushing sex. It's not that we're trying to be, selfish, but we want you to get yours. But you don't talk to us. Now, some women have said, and I'm going to say this. It's about to get down and dirty. You say you want us to do the same things we did before we got married or before we got in a serious relationship with you. But when we say we want you to do the same thing you were or be the same you were when we first got with you, which introduced this stuff that you got, it's the problem. You want the flowers. You want us to do all of this. You want all of that stuff. You want us to text you during the day. Oh, I love you. I want to have sex with you. I'm ready. Oh, God, I hope you're ready for me. Oh, I love you. You're so beautiful. And this, that, and the other. Then we show up and you in the bonnet in the house robe. You ain't took a shower. You don't carry yourself in the same way you did before. So how can you ask for the same prices and you presenting something different? That's the problem. That man asked this lady and said, is communication a problem? She said no. What other problem could there be? And I've been seeing some of the posts, and it's crazy. I see a lot of these posts. So you say, now I need to ask the question, does size matter? Because I see a lot of these posts all the time. That's the first thing you want to throw out here, that we got a small peen. And you so cavalier with that, which is crazy. But we don't want to talk about that roast beef sandwich that I posted earlier. But it's my peen. Make it make sense to me. We want to please. Men such as myself, we will lick, we will rub, we will do everything we need to do, but it only works if you talk. Some of us are pros, we know what we're doing, but every woman is different. And when you are married to a woman, especially if you waited, oh God, if you waited to get married, ain't nothing more stressful than that for a man, because we want to please you, but we just like, oh God, what's going to happen here? Would you divorce somebody if the first night you had sex with them, it was horrible? Is that grounds for divorce? I want to know. Something else I want to show you. Men are different. Men are 250% more likely to associate sex with happiness than women. It's such a wide gap between sexual happiness between men and women. When I did the research for this show, I said, wow, it is really crazy how many women are dissatisfied with their husbands as far as sexual, but men that are getting on the regular, so which is another one, because some men are getting on the regular, like we established, but the men that are getting, they're happy. They associate that with happiness. We are not the same. And you say, well, you want us to lick. You want us to do all the foreplay. But how are we supposed to interpret that when we see people leaving posts, when men love to eat the box automatically? I feel like it's slow. I'm not interested in no head. Heavy me, please. I'm not a lesbian. I like men for a reason. You see what I'm saying? How communication matters? Because if I was to meet somebody and I'm married and we waited till we got married and I'm ready to go to the box, to go to Jack in the Box and handle my business, this is not what she likes. And so some of you, not all of you, the reason why you're not satisfied is because you have failed to communicate with him. Now, fellas, if she's communicating with you and only thing you wanted to do was Albert from Color Purple, you just want to get yours and that's it, then shame on you. Because your job as a husband, your body don't belong to you. You're supposed to please her too. You are. You are supposed to please your wife. You're supposed to please your wife. You're supposed to please your woman. I ain't getting no amens from the fellas, but that's your job. You supposed to please that woman. Before you get yours, you need to make sure she getting hers. Unless, of course, it's a quickie, then we ain't got time. We just, look, we got to get this in real quick. But if you got time and you at home, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Because we got too many men out here that boast. I had your legs shaking. When you didn't have no heat in your house, I was cold. See, a lot of men feel like you running it down. We not really doing it. We're not doing it. We're not doing like we think we are. And we need to make sure that our women are satisfied sexually, married men. My duty is to please that booty. Exactly. Now, how do you please that booty, fellas? When you come in that room, I agree. A lot of women like when you marinate that thing first through the day. I mean, but ladies, you got to give us some breaks. Some of us work very demanding jobs. We just don't have time, a window to actually shoot sweet nothings. And here's the thing. There may be some times we might need to do microwavable situations. That's the difference between men and women, though, that y'all may miss. Only thing we need to do is get a look at you and a whiff of you, and we ready to go if we find you physically attractive. We're going to go there later. You have to learn her body. Agreed. But, fellas, we do need to take our time. We need to make sure that we're talking to her, that we're providing a stable, peaceful home. And when you come home, you can kiss her on the back of her neck. You can talk to her and everything else. But ladies, we can't do that all the time. We just can't. Can we be honest? Whew. We started shaking, so they moved. See, y'all, you cutting up already, Nancy. So, fellas, we do need to take our time with them. You can't just jump on there. Sometimes you do. And sometimes you just want to be, especially when it's late at night, you getting sleepy. You want to kind of get that thing over. I get it. But especially you married couples, you living in the same home, you could actually take your time if that's what she wants. I think when you communicating, I'm thinking if you communicate, not me personally, I ain't going to let y'all in my business, but I love communication. And be able to take direction. Yeah. Oh man, absolutely. As alpha as I come across, you talk. You know what I mean? You gotta want that talk. Some men like when you talk to us. That's just the way we are. I'm sorry. That's just the way we are with that. And sex needs to be enjoyable for the ladies. It kind of hurts my heart to hear them say that it's not enjoyable. But we not for to be the marathon, man. Some of you ladies, you do need help because you want this man to lay up on top of you for 4 hours and he got to work in the morning. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. I think that you need to be realistic on that. And I think porn has ruined our mindset, though. Because you see these long Jones and these chicks, and y'all have thought that this is what good sex is when you don't know they're actors. Men are different. Men are different. Men are going to orgasm 95% of the time. 95. But women don't orgasm during these encounters. Why is that? Well, I know one of the reasons why, a man's body, when it reaches a certain temperature and certain things happen, it's going to happen. Now, let me say this. Let me educate you ladies. Men have different levels of intensity with climaxing too. If we be honest, yes, we're going to climax, but the intensity of the climax is different. It is different. So we're going to bust, but it may not be as explosive when we're not feeling you. There are a lot of married men, and unfortunately, I had a talk with a few of them. They are no longer attracted to their wives. Did you hear what I just told you? These are married men. I won't tell who they are. I promised them I would not tell who they are. I don't do that anyway. I just say what the stuff I did, and every now and then give you a story with people that I know I probably won't run into, but I know some of these people, and they said they're no longer attracted to their wives. So sex with their wives is not enjoyable because they're not attracted to them. They've either let themselves go or they don't keep themselves up. They're not attracted to these women. That's the number one thing with men. When we see you, that's the first thing. So you eliminated the one first thing that made us even attracted to you. Men, we are driven by that. That's our number one thing, is the sexual attraction. That's the number one. So you've diminished that already, and then you wonder why this man is not pleasing you. He's not attracted to you like that. And if he's having sex with you, it's because he got blue balls, or he just needs to get this release so he can continue this day. He don't want to have a side chick, and he don't want to go in the bathroom. That's the reality. These men, that's the scariest thing in the world. My eyes got bucked. You telling me I'm not attracted to my wife like that, man. I'm just not. So you want sexual intimacy, and I get it, and you want him to make you reach that mountaintop. I get it. But this man not feeling you, for whatever reason. And if they're not physically attracted to you, there is absolutely no way he's going to care about pleasing you. What happened that made him lose physical attraction to you? I'm not talking about kids. But you could do something. Now, I know all of us going to pick up weight. We getting older, we're going to pick up weight. But you don't have to turn into unicorn. You don't have to do that. A lot of men are not attracted to that. Some men are, and fine, and some men don't care. That's fine. But most of the men that I talk to do care. So, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? He can't pick you up. Your aspiration is way 285. He's not picking you up. So that's gone. He doesn't want you on top because you're crushing his pelvis. He wants to get behind you. But we don't know where that ends. It's like holding on to, it's like working on a car. You got the hood up. That's not appealing. And long story short, some of y'all need to do some things. Some of y'all need to do some things. Y'all need to sit in some bleach. And some of them said that. That's the real. That's the real. So you want to know why your man ain't pleasing you? It's easy to point the finger and say, you ain't doing this, and you ain't doing that, and you ain't doing this, and you ain't doing that. But you need to go back to the top. You need to ask yourself the question, is my man physically attracted to me? Is he physically attracted to me? Because that could be number 1 to 30 to number 1 to 70. That could be the reason why this man is not taking his time with you. Maybe he doesn't want to because he's not there. He's not mentally there. Men, we are visual. We see what we want to have sex with. We are visual. Some men can look at you and have a rock of Gibraltar ready for you. And I don't care, he getting old. Let me tell you something. If a man is getting old, I know some men out here still 70 years old getting it up for young women. They told me. It's something about you. I ain't getting no amens on this message. I don't want none. So don't come over here talking about you need to be pleased and you up here with a bonnet or your breast stink or your twat stink or your butt stink. or you ain't taking care of yourself. You don't look sexy. You don't wear perfume. You don't look like the woman that he was physically attracted to in the beginning. We know you're going to pick up weight. We know you're going to age. But what in the world? I've seen 60-year-old women out here still got it. You mean to tell me you're going to let yourself go because you got married? And you want him to take his time with you? For what? He wanted to just get his and get going. That's still selfish of him. It really is. But you're not even trying to understand why. That's the part that's frustrating. Yes, a man should please you. Yes, we should lick. We should twist. We should do all of that other stuff. But ain't nowhere in hell no 300-pound woman sitting on my pelvis. That's absolutely not going to happen. So all these switch positions, no. No, you're going to get this. You're going to get this. And let me be honest with you. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes men are treated like all of y'all got good stuff. Just like men got good ding. Some of y'all got good, but some of you don't. For some of you, it gets kind of bad for us. You know, it's not the best thing in the world for us. For some of us, it's really bad. It's not hitting like it should. It's dry. And you could say it's our fault, maybe, but some of you always dry. So let's keep this thing 100. And why are you going here, Derek? Because I see too many posts like this one, like the one I showed you. When you bashing men on their sides. I see too many posts like this. So how do we fix it? You know the interesting thing I found? This is a crazy thing. Do men fake orgasms? Do men fake orgasms? You know the answer is yes, we do. I'm not going to share any business of my own, but I know men do they fake orgasms. They do. Just like you fake orgasms. But I found a weird statistic, which is crazy. Relationships affect orgasms. Did you know that? Women in a relationship of 6 months are 6 more likely to orgasm during their sexual encounter than the women with the first-time hookup, which is usually their honeymoon. Women with look at it, 40% more likely. Hooking up is 6 times doubles. Listen, this is basically saying when you are in a relationship, you're more likely to orgasm. Why? Than first encounter. Can anybody guess why? You in the back, do you know why? You over there, do you know why? Let me give you. Because when you're in a relationship with somebody, preferably marriage, you having these discussions about what you like and what needs to happen. You know, I like it when you do this. I like it when you take control. I like it when you on top. I like it when you slob. I like it when you bite. I like it when you nibble. These things, and the man that loves you, that you should be with, that loves you, stop dating men that don't love you. A man that loves you will listen to this and say, I want her to get hers just like mine. He's going to listen to you. I've heard too many of you saying, oh, he needs to listen. Why are you dating men that don't listen to you? Why are you in relationships and long-term relationships and having sex with men that don't listen to you? If he ain't listening to you for nothing else, he's not going to listen to sex either. And you shouldn't marry a man that's not listening to you. Yeah, he wasn't like that at first. I get that. That does happen. But some of you ignore the red flags from the beginning. When you have a relationship with somebody that you love and he loves you, there is a connection there. Because men that love you, we are going to say, no matter what, we want to please you in every way. This is what we signed up for. This is what we signed up for. To love you, to appreciate you, to respect you, to give you the sexual intimacy that makes your head explode. We want to do that for you. You are our rib. We love you. That's what we should do as men. You are with the woman that you married. You are with the woman that you say you are in a committed relationship with. That should be your duty. Somebody posted, my duty to please that booty. That should be your duty. Not to let her go to bed and every night. Now, if she's not talking to you, then that's on her. But if she's talking to you, you don't listen, you can't tell me you love this woman. I can't see myself loving a woman and not listening to what she's telling me. Now, I may not agree, because if she want me to put a pole up my butt, that ain't happening. I don't care how much that gets you off. We just ain't gonna do it. But the bed is undefiled when you married. That means anything goes, nothing in my butt, but you get what I'm saying. Some women don't want that. Some women want you to go in that room and get those toys. They want you to get that. Some women want you to chain them up. They into that freaky stuff. But are you willing to please her, or do you just want to roll over and go to bed? Oh, I got to go to work in the morning. Your dick ain't that strong, bro. I just showed you 18%, only 18% of women climax that way. So stop thinking your stroke game is that. No, it's not. It's other things you need to do. And one of the things that I've learned about women, that thank you to the ladies who are helping me, because I'm not a woman. I don't profess to even speak for you. I speak for you, but only after you talk to me. That mental and emotional connection is the first key to her orgasm. In a lot of cases, that mental and that emotional connection is the first key to you making her head explode, and you both can sleep good at night. If you fail to even attempt to make those connections, there is no way that intimacy is going to be explosive, because women are emotional. That's the way they love. They love emotional. Men, we love through action. Women love through emotion. And if you can connect with that, because you're listening to her, you're heating her, and they do see that. When they see you listening to them, it turns them on. It turns them on, fellas. Listening to your woman is the best thing you can do. It turned them on. They like, oh, wait, he listening to me. He's listening to me. He's listening to my feelings. He's in tune with my emotions. And I promise you, it will start dripping. You keep listening, getting that connection to it, you won't have to work hard at all. It starts there. Then you start, some women do like it rough, but fellas, some don't. You can't come in. That's why I say porn has messed us up. Because you see them go, and we think that's what it is, and it's not. That's not all the time. Now, some of y'all want to, woo! But it ain't always like that, fellas. It ain't always like that. And I think, men, we need to have more discussions about how to please our wives sexually. Because a man is going to get his 95% of the time. And if he's physically attracted to her, he's automatically there. He's going to go. He's going to go. I'm not going to interject my own personal life in this thing, because I'm not doing that. I don't want to get my head chopped off. But when you are in tune, be ready for your head to just, because she's going to. One of the things I saw in this book that was crazy, the reason why she was able to get there with Levon is because she got to that place of she felt comfortable with him. She felt safe with him. She felt like she could let herself go. It wasn't restrained. It wasn't conflicted with anger and bitterness and sadness. It wasn't conflicted with her thinking you just trying to get hers. She felt this way about him, and that's why he was able to make her reach the mountaintop that her husband couldn't even get her to go. Because her husband didn't even think about that. He just turned over, got his, and it was done. Which way work maybe every now and then, but not all the time. I hate it that we like this, fellas. And I know things happen. We all get there. But do you think we could do better listening to our women, what they want sexually, especially the married ones, the really ones I'm talking to? I'm not married, but I promise you, I'm going to please the hell out of my wife. You want what? Okay, get them stirrups up, crank that thing up, let's go. I promise you that. Why? Because I want her to be happy. I want her to be pleased. I'm not going to marry a woman I'm not physically attracted to. So that won't be an issue for me. I told you my weakness. It's going to happen. It's going to be one. But I mean, tell me what you think. Do you think we could do, fellas? Do you think we could do better listening to our women as far as what they want sexually in an intimate way? That'll make you a better husband. That's an unwritten rule. We know our job is to provide and protect. But your other rule is to make sure she's pleased. That's your other rule. That's an unwritten rule you won't hear in church. I bet you if I was a preacher, I'd say, bro, make her reach the mountaintop. That's your job. You're going to reach yours. But you got to make sure she's reaching hers. And I understand there are some issues with ladies, the way they deal with us, the way they kind of attack us or trying to compare us to other dudes. We hate that. Don't compare us to I've physically hurt women. That's why you ain't. Why is it when you get mad, that's the first thing you go? Do you know when you go there, there's no coming back for us? If you come telling us another man dicked you down better than we could, and you think in those heated moments, you think that's not going to resonate with him? Can't do that either. That's not going to work. Chris, are you still here? That's not going to work. I got the lines open. If anybody want to jump on here, you can. Did I pin that here? Did I pin it? If you want to come on, just let me know. But before I go, I saved this for last for a reason. But I really want us to do better. I'm not trying to bash women. I'm not trying to bash black women. I love black women. I just want us to be better. I want you to listen to us from a male perspective. And I just want us to be better for each other. As men level up, we need you to level up too. That's the only thing I want. I want to see more of us really come together, but understand what we both need as far as what we need to grow together as families and relationships. And hopefully we can get together in relationships that we define what the relationships are and move to marriage. That's what I really want. But I want to leave you with this. I've decided that as a musician, as an OG, I've decided that I'm no longer going to do mentoring in the way that I used to. I used to be one of those mentors because number one time, I've got so much going on. And I think that that's unfair to some of you. You need me and I can't be there like you need me to be. I'm not your father, but I understand you need me. And I can't do that. But one of the main reasons is I didn't talk about it. I let it all happen over the weekend. I'm pretty sure some of you know about it. If you're a musician, you can share this to Black Surfers Realm or wherever. You can share this part. Without going into what happened, that was pretty much the last straw for me. Because I've come to the realization that my younger musician friends, not all of you, but you have developed an attitude where you don't want to hear from us unless it's putting you on something, a gig or an opportunity. And that's very frustrating because we share wisdom, we share knowledge with you. We share things with you as younger musicians that can help you grow into better professionals. And we share this stuff to try to keep you and help you circumvent or sidetrack some of the same landmines that some of us walked into. And it's completely frustrating and utterly disrespectful when you just totally toss what we say to the side and be like, I got it. But then you want us to put you on a gig. That's very disrespectful to us. And it's disrespectful to me. We've paid these dues, and some of the things that we've gone through, we've done it so you don't have to. And you take that for granted with us. You don't listen. You do what you want to do. And it makes it worse when you put our name to it with some of the stuff that you do. I can't do that. That's just not something I'm prepared to do. I try to help a lot of you. I give you words of wisdom. I give you what I know, my knowledge and everything. And some of you've taken time to piss on me from a great height. because you think you've arrived to a place that you haven't. So you think you can blatantly or sideway or inadvertently disrespect me. Some of you, I helped you get to where you are. You started listening to me, but now you've taken to disrespect me. And that takes a lot out of me because I know what I've sacrificed for some of you. I know some of the stuff I've shared with you. That's very valuable. I didn't have to do that. So I've decided that I'm no longer, I have some ones that I will still work with. And every now and then I will help you. But this mentoring thing, it's just not, it's not for me. It's just not. I just can't do it with you. I'm sorry, because it's one thing to see you, it's one thing to see you grow into a musician. And then the stuff that you should grasp. I'm not gonna put you on your talent and your work ethic, if you have it, will put you on. But the knowledge and the stuff and the nuggets that I drop into you will help you sustain where you are going and help you go to the next level. What I teach you, what I show you, or what I may help you with, it's not to put you on the gig. It's not to set you up to get the gig. It's to help you understand when you get this gig, I don't need to be late. I need to be on time. I don't need to be out of uniform. I need to do this. I need to learn the songs. I need to not be a butthole. All these things that we could teach you, you totally throw away and say, oh, you hating on us. You don't want to see us succeed. But now you say, oh, I don't need him no more. I'm where I want to be. That's disrespectful. I don't want your praise. I don't want none of that. But I want you to hear the words that I'm saying and utilize that, but not piss on me, indirectly or directly. And so what is pissing on me? If I put you on a situation and you don't represent me in the way that you should, that's pissing on me. If I hire you for a gig and you show up late, and if I can't make, say for instance, Ricky say, oh, you can't go, give me a bass player. And I put you on, you don't learn this stuff, that's on me. That's on me. But if I tell you, hey, you should be on time, or you should do this, you should do that, and you be like, no, and I hear that you showing up late, you're not learning the songs and everything else, it's like I'm talking to you, but you're not listening. You out here messing with every other chick, I'm telling you, that's gonna cause you problems. You still out here being reckless with your dick. So what am I supposed to do? It makes no sense to me. It's like a waste of time. If I'm just talking to you, you're not listening, for what? So that's why. I love y'all, but I don't understand. You go to a place where it's a professional atmosphere and you decide that you're going to act a fool. For what? I never will understand drinking and smoking weed before you play at a gospel function. I will never understand that. And so as a mentor, I'm going to tell you that's not professional. But then you still show up drunk and high. It makes me, what are we doing? And I'm not the only one that feel this way. Sometimes we feel like you don't want to be helped. And there's a lot of older musicians, my age, around my age and older, are looking at you and saying, we see the talent. You got talent galore. But your talent is not going to sustain. All of you are talent. This kid's 8 years old killing. So what's going to sustain you? Your professionalism, your attitude. Those are the things that we can teach you. But you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. So I'm not frustrated. I've had time to marinate on this. My frustration came weeks before. Weeks before. My frustration was there. But right now, I'm at a place where I've had an epiphany, where this is just something that I can no longer do. I just can't. It's too draining, and it's like it's falling on deaf ears. It's almost like prophesying to rocks at this point. So I love you, but I just can't do it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I had fun doing this show. It was fun. I hope I got down and dirty. We talked about some good stuff today. Thank you so much, Antoine. We talked about some good stuff today, but I really, man, I love to see black couples. I love to see couples, period. Black, white, whatever. But I love to see couples happy. I love to see couples together. I love to see people happy and moving along with their relationships. I don't like to see us battling each other. And I can be real nasty when I want to be, which brings me to this point. No, I don't play on my page, and I don't play, period. I don't like it that some men go to women groups acting stupid, and I don't like it when women come to men group acting stupid. I wish we could stop doing that. Stop doing that. If for men, we like men in barbershops, we gonna say some wild stuff in the barbershop. Why would you come to a barbershop and then try to persuade us to not be men? That makes no sense. We're going to talk about some wild stuff in the barbershop where men congregate. So I may say some wild stuff. But then you come up in the barbershop and try to check me. It's not going to work well for you. It's not going to work well for you. Now, next week, we talk about something else. We talk about scary for Mary, too scary to marry. Talk about the different aspects, why men are scared or afraid to jump the broom. What is keeping them from pulling that trigger? What is keeping men from saying, I want to marry you, and even buying a ring? We're trying to get to that part. Getting the ring. Going ahead and getting married is a whole nother thing. But we're trying to understand why men have decided that they don't want to be married. What is holding these men from doing that? Oh, I got the data. Y'all gonna be tripping, but it's gonna be good. And I hope that you guys will join me. You have any questions? Anybody want to ask you? I open the floor right now. If anybody has anything they want me to touch on or anything before we jumped off. I know my situation was bad. I don't know what's going on with Restream. It doesn't want to work well with my software. So some of the stuff I would want to do, I can't. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do. It's like it's messing with my little device here where I do my little cutaways. It's something going on with it, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So let's see what happens. But if that's it, everybody, I love you guys. I really, really do. Thank you for joining me. I know it's kind of late, but thank you so much for joining me. And I do love you. And I appreciate you guys for showing up. You guys always show up to the show. You always bring life. You join in on the conversations. And I love you guys for it. Keep sending me. The Preacher's Going Wild. We going to be here forever, look like. Preacher's Going Wild. I did see that that Mike Todd thing that people been posting. I don't really got much to say about that. Mike Todd is a huge contributor to Preachers Gone Wild. So I want him to keep going. But I'll see you guys next week, okay? I love you.